Oh, found Big Boss Go Direct.
Thank you. And you're going to send me that info? Your cookie. No, leave it on. Your cookie friend.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
You're there, Rick.
Okay, I just got an error message on my. There we go. Hey, Tim, how's it going, my brother?
Wonderful. As soon as I figure out how to get this back to a full-size screen, I'll be good.
Might work in what's there. There we go.
Hey, there we go.
That means I am. Oh, that. And a little more over here. Got too much bleed. That's better. Well, I hope we're going to have a quorum. I haven't heard from Charlie Bush. I'm going to call him.
Okie doke. Is the Forbes website down?
Oh, God, I hope not.
Well, I tried to get on it earlier and couldn't. Now, maybe something on Chrome timed out or something, but I could not get on it.
Oh, it's up. Oh, it's up now. There may have been a temporary downside. Let me check the chapter websites because they're all on the same server. SOTOC is also up. Okay. That's good. And I don't remember getting a downtime notification.
Right.
Let's see here, Bush. I have Google monitoring that. Charlie. I'm gonna have to look up his number. Can't believe I don't have it in the contacts list. Well, I know Bob's going to join us. I've got a proxy for Tom, the Inland Empire Director. So if we get one more person logged in, we will be a quorum. Members. Charlie Bush. So let's see his new number. So, 303.
Oh, that's cute. First blow the picture up. Okay.
There's Santa John. That's good. All right.
What the hell's going on? Oh, that's why camera's off. Let's go over here. Go to the other one.
Hey, look at that tropical Hawaii. Oh, now he's going to go to the plaid background. Is that the Santa tartan, by the way? I know Santa Clan, the Santa Clan has its own tartan.
That's family tartan.
Oh,
That's my family tartan.
Don't take this away from me. Let me have this.
Do you know how to change the name on here? From Clara North to,
Upper right-hand corner. You can get a box that'll come down and show you how to go over your picture. You'll see mute, and then you'll see 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots.
upper right. I don't get it up there.
Well, somewhere on your screen.
Are you on a tablet or phone?
I'm on a laptop.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, it should be in the upper right-hand corner.
what are you looking for?
Who wants to change his name?
Full screen.
Oh, I can change your name for you, my friend.
Thank you.
Be here. Rename Santa Pete North. There you go.
Yeah. And Pete, you would actually have to click on your own picture. And
Yeah.
then in the upper right corner of your picture are 3 dots will show up.
Yeah.
At least that's how it works on my computer.
Mine
Okay, I see it.
Yeah. So that's where you'd look in the future. Because you probably did exactly what I would think of, which is looked off in the black portion way off on the right past the pictures.
If you right click on your name in the lower left corner, the bottom option on that list menu is rename.
Rename.
Yeah.
And as the host, I have the right to rename all of you, so I'm gonna rename Santa Claus. No, I'm just kidding. You're all Santa Claus.
No, not everybody.
Oh, that's true. That's true. What is the red on your cap right there? Or is that just your background? Do you have a red screen behind you?
Who, me?
Yeah, there's a slightest, yeah,
It's a pom-pom that just doesn't want to come around the corner.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's pixelation rather than,
Yeah. It's not against a blue screen.
oh, got the Duluth hat?
Yes,
If that one don't fly,
Bob,
we'll
holler,
get the
see
other
if
one.
you need help.
I don't know if they make them anymore.
Yeah, they've got them actually. Mine just showed up over the weekend. Ordered one, and I don't know if you like the flat caps, but Boston Scully is a brand of flat cap, and they just reinstituted their red, and it is a red. It's pretty much the same as I can never remember the brand name, the company that makes the sports team stuff, where a lot of us got the red overalls and pants and stuff. It's pretty close to that color.
Okay.
I tend to live in flat caps, so. Oh, that's fun because all you get is the white portion for the fur, not the actual.
Yeah, well, I filled a picture. I have to get away from the camera.
Yeah, well, the green if you're in front of a green screen, the green part's going to disappear for the most part.
Well, we'll change the background. I'll go Irish. It just disappears. It's here, but not
Yeah.
very far.
Right.
I mean, okay, let's see. We can put it this way, and then I can't see.
No, I just meant that
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it just eats it up.
yep,
Yeah,
doesn't like it. Hello, Dan.
Hi.
I have to unmute myself. Dan, how you doing, my brother?
Good. I'm doing real good, Rick.
Good. Let me see here. I just talked to Bob. He's doing some last minute work on the treasurer's report or whatever. He will join us momentarily, but we're in no hurry. We will have a proxy tonight. I mean, a quorum tonight.
Yes, maybe I will put those.
Oh, I see.
There we go.
That heavy, once it gets lighter, then I don't have so much trouble.
Okay.
I'll go back to green. There, now stand up.
Well, a good evening to you all.
Good
Hey,
morning, Bob.
Oh, Bob,
Hi, Bob.
put them in the wrong place. So we'll move them over to here.
Rick, you're not clear.
Huh?
Your voice, it doesn't come across clear.
My voice, oh, okay, let me move this over. Sorry. All right. Okay, so I have spoken to, can't get a hold of Senator Michael, the AZ director. I've tried-
Well, Michael got out of the hospital today with the virus.
you.
Was it COVID?
Yep.
Hmm.
Man, I'm glad to hear he got out of the hospital.
Yes.
Well, he's super weak, but they needed the hospital bed. The hospital's full.
OMG.
But anyway, yeah, it's not unexpected. He didn't want to get a shot.
Hmm.
But it looks like he survived it.
Well, I'm going to exercise maximum restraint and not
Thank you.
comment.
Probably a
Okay,
good choice.
say again?
Said, well, it's probably a good choice.
Right. Probably was.
There it is. Okay.
Well, how was everyone tonight?
Good, Bob.
Doing well.
Have
I'm
we got
fine.
Hi, Peter. Have we got everybody in that we're gonna get?
We'll get, we've got a proxy. We've got a quorum. Let me share my screen here for the sake of the minutes. This meeting, I will remind everyone, is being recorded for our archives. So you have been duly notified. Santa Pete North and Dan Pless are here to represent the Bylaws and Elections Revision Committee, so of the Elections and Bylaws Revision Committee, and we welcome them. Let me share my screen.
I guess I've never met Dan Plass next face to face. I hope I get to meet him at the reunion.
Tell us you're going to attend the reunion, Dan.
I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm thinking about it, but I haven't decided.
How far would you have to travel to do so?
I'd have to travel over 2,000 miles.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I tell you what, here's hoping your Santa season is so productive that you can easily afford to join us.
All right. I hope so too.
Share my screen and share screen number 3. There we go. All right. Okay. Well, first of all, let me establish the quorum. We have present the San Diego director, John Lorne, F1. We have the currently the OC director, Tim Marsh, and we have the president, Bob Callahan, and myself, the chairman of the board. That is 4 voting members. And I direct your attention to the proxy that I received this evening from Santa Bob Calais, the Silver State Santas director, and also the Inland Empire chapter director, Santa Tom Giddings. Was unable to attend because he's at work, and both of these gentlemen extended their proxies in writing. So we have 6 members attending or represented by proxy. I declare a quorum to be present, so we can proceed. I'll call the meeting to order at 7:09 p.m. This is the 3rd quarterly meeting of the 2021 Board of Directors of the Fraternal Order of Real Bearded Santas. I note in the absence of the secretary, the chairman has called roll and notes the presence of a quorum. And there being a quorum present, the chair proceeds to regular order of business. The minutes distributed the agenda distributed previously called for the discussion and approval of the minutes that would have been distributed by the secretary. At this point, I will direct your attention to the resignation that most of you probably saw about an hour or so ago, maybe a couple of hours ago now. Our secretary, Victoria, decided to withdraw from the board, and she is already withdrawn from the chapter, and she recently declared that she is not going to be attending the reunion, and purportedly all 3 of those are due to the pandemic and the fact that her elderly mother is at significant risk, and she is therefore curtailing all public appearances and socialization for that reason until further notice for the foreseeable future. Okay, so that being noted, I call for a waiver of the reading of previous minutes. I'm making that motion from the chair. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I do note that Centipede North and Daniel Pless are auditing the meeting. Neither one of them has to vote on any of these motions as they are called. There being a quorum and I am hearing a majority in favor, we will call that passed. The next item on the agenda, we're going to power right through this. Oh, I forgot. If you guys will hold on just 1 second, I'm going to pause the meeting right here. I need to get a hold of Charmart and see if she was she was supposed to join us. I want to see what her problem is. Pause the meeting. You guys discuss among yourself.
If you guys haven't done this Mexican Carnival cruise, kind of a fun deal.
How many days?
I'd sure like to be on cruises. You can eat. You can eat morning, noon, and night at midnight too.
This is true. They tend to be a floating eat and drink fest. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
They don't push you back.
And the people in Ensenada and Cabo are eager for our business. But the last time we were there, we got off the boat at Cabo and guys got all excited and we took a group picture and then everybody started to walk away and the guy says, "Oh my God." I said, "What?" He said, "I had $100 in my pocket and it's gone." In the midst of taking a picture with this group of Mexicans with a group of Santas, somebody pickpocketed one of our Santas. But that could happen in LA too, so.
Oh, yeah. Any tourist spot. Yep.
Okay. Again.
Okay, I had to leave her a voicemail. So she will come up later in the agenda. So I just wanted to give her a heads up and give her a chance to join us if she could in time. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the financial statement. We will refer to the quarterly financial statement, the Q3 financial statement, which I hope you can still see on the board. I mean, on the
Yep. It's there.
As you can see, I would like to point out that since the Q2 meeting, the treasurer, the Orange County Treasurer, Bob Callahan, happens to also be our president, and I have segregated the funds that were previously commingled in the chapter's Westcom account. Since we previously hosted a reunion, I believe the 2019 reunion, some of our funds had remained commingled. We have segregated those, transferred some of them to the Chase account, which is our reunion fund, and the Westcom account has therefore been removed from the financial statement. If you compare the Q3 financial statement to the Q2 financial statement, you will notice that one of the previously listed accounts is missing, and I wanted to let you know why. The general fund and the Chase account, which is listed as general fund, is actually our reunion fund. We currently have $5,161.49 in there as of today. The farmers and merchants account is our general fund, technically. We have $7,339 in that account. Most of that from previous year dues. We have in our membership PayPal, our membership fund PayPal, we have $2,052.67 right now. We currently have in our reunion PayPal, $2,236.70. We have issued, it's listed as a deposit. I should have corrected that. It has now been transferred as the first primary payment on the reunion contract. That $5,000 has been spent, but I left it in the assets anyway, because it is now on deposit with the 2022 reunion. That brings our current assets to $21,789.86. And we're doing very well. There is clearly enough money there to pay for the reunion already, and reunion registrations haven't really kicked off yet. So we're not going to be in danger of bankruptcy no matter what happens at the 2022 reunion. And for being Bob, at least, that's a relief.
Amen.
Okay, moving on. Since this is a financial report, we don't need to motion and vote on it. Next is open issues. The 2022 Reunion Planning Committee. Okay, I refer you guys to the itinerary, which you guys are probably familiar with already. The full weekend package is, as we expected, by far the most commonly purchased or reserved registered package, and that's good. That's how we're going to pay for the reunion. Just before I came online with you guys, I was dictating a response to Santa Emmett Monahan of San Francisco. He is registering for himself and his fiance, their 2 daughters, and one of the daughters' significant other. So there will be 1 more package 1 and 4 more package 1Bs. And I also noted when I was trying to help Emmett that Charlie Padelford just registered about an hour ago.
Who did?
Charlie Padelford in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
So, and he also renewed his membership at the same time.
Yeah, he's not in San Diego anymore, but I'm glad he's coming.
Oh, is he not? Where did he move?
I think it's Missouri. Oh, wait a minute. I'm wrong. It was his girlfriend that moved. Charlie's still in San Diego. I'm sorry.
Okay. And I don't remember whether it was just himself or whether he was registering for his girlfriend. I'd have to go check. But anyway, the point is, for this early in the registration cycle, and considering that we did not offer an early bird registration discount because we literally paired the registration packages to the bone, I think that registrations are going extremely well right now. As we all know, traditionally, the bulk of our registrations tend to occur during and shortly after the Santa season, when most of our fixed income members have suddenly gained enough fluidity of their accounts that they can send us a little bit of money on the side. So I think we're going to be very well off once the reunion starts. As you guys know, we booked a comedian for the comedy showcase. In fact, we'll get to that. Let me go back up here to there we go. Senator Tim Conahan has agreed to be our keynote speaker. I spoke with Tim today. Harper's Magazine was trying to get a hold of him. The editor was unable to reach him because his websites were all down today. So they reached out through me, and I gave Tim a call, and turned out that he was migrating his empire from one server to another and dropping a number of his domain names at the same time, and just a glitch occurred. So he should be back up and running by now. And he also verbally recommitted to the package that we sent out. You guys were probably all CC'd on that as well. And he asked if there was anything he needed to do to confirm that. And I said at the bottom of the email, I just asked you to reply and acknowledge acceptance of the terms. And he said that he would do that. I just haven't had a chance to go back and check my emails. If he hasn't done it, I'm sure he will shortly. This Saturday Christmas Comedy Showcase will be Chris Strait. I am not revealing that information publicly. I'm not giving the comedian's name out publicly for the very simple reason that I don't want all of our guests to go out and immerse themselves in all of his previous work. In case he wants to recycle some of his previous material from a few years ago, I don't want everybody to be so familiar with it that it seems, redundant to them. So you guys feel free to go familiarize yourself with Chris Strait if you want to, but I will tell you that he is very famous. He has 2 primetime specials. He has a DVD, 2 CDs. He toured 19 countries last year or something like that. And he has committed to
Making it Santa themed.
Yes, exactly. He's going to customize his material to our theme and to our demographic. So I'm sure that he's professional enough, and he's got 90 days to work on it. So I'm sure we'll be fine. And his showcase will probably be the highlight of the weekend. Okay, moving on, the Forbes Santa Insurance renewals. The portal went active this month. And by all accounts, according to Jackie, the applications are going splendidly. We should be able to meet our quota in very short order and get our deposit back as we do every year. And I think we're going to be all right.
I don't know if everybody knows we need to put up $2,000.
Yes, thank you, Bob. We do. There are 2 deposits that we have to tender to Karcher Insurance annually. One is for our group insurance, which covers all of our events. It's basically our event liability insurance, including the reunion and all chapter meetings, all sanctioned events, in fact, including our joint chapter picnic, including your chili dinner, John, when you guys were there. So all sanctioned Forbes events are covered under a group liability policy. We have to we don't deposit for it, but we have to pay for that every year. And then our group individual liability policy, we have to deposit for that every year. But once we attain a certain number of policies issued, Karcher refunds that deposit and the policy is self-funding from that moment on. So at some point in the near future, we'll probably get that deposit back. And it'll, if I remember correctly, that'll go back into the Chase account. Let me see here. Okay, we'll move on to new business. By the way, I'm sorry, I should have been pausing here along the way. Does anybody have anything they would like to add about any of the first, let's say the first 2 or 3 sections? Any comments on the financial statement? Any comments on the, we've already voted on the previous minutes. So, and any comments on the open issues that I have discussed? This is for the minutes. I'm not trying to harangue you guys. Okay,
No.
thank you. Go ahead. Okay.
No, I said no.
Thank you. All right, moving on to section 6, new business. The bylaws committee, 2 members who are present with us today. Thank you again, Dan, and thank you, Pete. We also have 3 other members and myself as de facto member of all standing committees. There were a total of 5. And Tim, I believe you were the chair of the elections committee this year as the director not standing for re-election according to our bylaws.
Yes.
There has to be an even number plus 1 director not standing for re-election. So the elections committee has reviewed these proposals and discussed the proposals for bylaws revision for the 2022 election cycle. And after careful consideration, we have discarded a number of suggestions and whittled it down to these 2. The terms of office for fiduciary officers, according to our bylaws, are currently listed as 1 or annual election offices. The Elections Committee is proposing that we revise the bylaws to extend that term from 1 to 2 years. John, you'll know that we're copying the San Diego chapter directly in this regard. You guys passed this amendment last year in your own.
Actually, it actually goes back 2 years.
Okay, then. We just finally got around to it ourselves. This will reduce the burden of organizing annual elections, and it will give each of the officers and directors more time to grow into, learn, and perform in their respective positions before they're required to hand the gavel over to someone else. I just think it's going to, the Elections Committee agrees that this will facilitate greater service to the fraternity. So we will vote in a moment on whether we should propose that bylaw revision to the membership. The second suggestion from the bylaws committee will be the amendment of the bylaws provision that states surviving spouses of deceased members in good standing may continue their associate status by maintaining the annual renewal of dues. We will revise the bylaws to eliminate that renewal of dues stipulation so that surviving spouses of deceased members in good standing will be allowed to continue their associate status without paying annual dues. This should be a benefit to us in that some of the widows in our associate member cadre are some of the most productive member associates that we have. Kathy Perone, for instance, falls into this category, and she volunteers her time and energy every year. Dottie Runke falls into this category. And there will be others, or there have already been others, who were not necessarily enthusiastic and energetic volunteers, but it may encourage other surviving spouses to continue their association with the fraternal order if we simply eliminate the obligation that they pay the annual dues. So both of those recommendations have come from the Bylaws Revision Committee. There being a quorum present, I move that both of those provisions be recommended to.
I'd like
Bob,
to.
go ahead. I'm sorry, discussion. I opened this to discussion. Go, Bob.
Okay, well, I'm not a fan of moving it from 1 year to 2 years. If somebody is in the office and they're willing to take it for a second year, why almost never is there somebody that says, well, I wanted it more than you did. So if somebody's in the office and was willing to take it for a second year, why they're more than happy to do it. But some people might be gun shy of taking it for a commitment of 2 years. So I'm not sure that term of office change is a good thing. As on the second issue, I totally agree that they don't need pay annual dues, but we do need some sort of information from them. Do they want to stay on our rolls? You know, do we carry them on our rolls forever, or at what point do we say, hey, do you want to be on our rolls or not?
So we have general consensus on item 2. To continue the discussion on the first item, again, the San Diego chapter has moved to a 2-year term, and their reasons were sufficiently explained in various meetings that I won't hammer that unduly, but I'll be honest with you. My personal reason for wanting to do this is the last 3, maybe 4 election cycles that we've had to organize at the fraternal level, at the national level. most of the offices went unchallenged anyway. So we basically went to all of the trouble of organizing elections where only one of the offices was contested anyway. We might be able to change that with a more aggressive recruiting stance, trying to find more officers. But I remind you that of the directors and officers serving on the board right now, more than half of them are technically interim. So they basically raised their hand and stood forward where nobody else has. And I was trying to relieve them of the burden of having to defend that decision in the near future. So is there anybody else who would like to voice an opinion? Tim?
Yeah, well, my question is simply, how's it working in San Diego? Any issues? Any, I realize you've only done it one cycle, so,
And they didn't finish that cycle. He resigned.
Yeah, I'll take a run on this. We started it in 2019, and the president who was elected in 19 quit in 20. We then moved the bodies around, and the vice president became president. He made 2 months and quit. I started out, and I was sergeant at arms. I went on to support the first president. And because the secretary and treasurer are both female, I ran out of odds, and I became president pro tem in May of 20. When elections came around for us in February or March, we tried to solicit help from the members in the organization and have none. The board that was pro tem up until the new elections are the new board.
John, if you can recall, in 2019, what were the arguments in favor of the extension?
Well, the biggest piece was to make it continuity, carry it a little bit farther than having to regroup and start the ball all over again. I understand the logic behind it, but there's just friction in the job. I mean, it doesn't bother me. And we're gonna have a meeting on Wednesday to discuss our fundraiser, and I wasn't even there. I had a appointment to go to, and I wasn't there for the fundraiser. But being president, I will be there for the meeting.
Well,
It's basically just a continuity, and because now that we have become so almost national, every state, there is a reach back to them now. Instead of just pulling the Southern California group, you can reach out to a lot more people than just local,
and
if they're interested.
I hope that we'll be able to do that. I plan to put a lot more energy into promoting and recruiting for the upcoming election cycle. For example, Rick Rosenthal, the executive director of the Northern Lights Santa Academy and the Santa hiring agency in Atlanta, Georgia, has expressed an interest in running for vice president or one of the fiduciary offices. He specifically said vice president, but as long as Joe Mystic is interested in maintaining that position, again, that is one position where there's a learning curve. The treasurer, to be a functioning treasurer, we have an interim treasurer and always have had an interim treasurer. Bob is filing the taxes and has been since day one. I'm handling almost all of the accounting, and the person that we have holding that title right now doesn't really have any experience and doesn't have any expertise and doesn't do anything. So I was hoping that we could recruit someone with some specific experience and expertise in this category. And if we do, we don't want to have to replace them in 12 months. The vice president has a learning curve because he's also de facto chairman of the membership committee. And they have a lot of computer related duties, although Bob's sister, Elf Crystal, is actually the one doing most of the work. The vice president has a learning curve. He has some specific duties that he has to execute to every new member. And during renewal season, he has to do it to every renewing member. So I don't know. It just, I agree with the San Diego's position that it would reduce the burden of replacing the officers, and I think a two-year term is probably just as effective. Would anybody, would either, okay, that's it. Bob said his piece, John said his piece, and Tim said his piece. So
I wouldn't vote against it. I don't really care. That was just my observation.
may I remind us all that this is actually up to the membership. The members in good standing of the fraternal order will actually decide this matter. All we're considering right now is whether to recommend it, to propose it to the general membership. So go ahead.
One other thing, I think that the organization is large enough now that this will help the organization go forward. Because of the vast members out in the world. I think it'll help go forward, but it's going to be a slow process.
Well, not to rewind, but we were well on the way to an accelerated expansion in March of this year with the Winternet that we were doing.
Yeah.
For 6 weeks, we were doing meetings and they were growing very rapidly. We had as many as 15 Santas all across the country joining us for these weekly meetings. We were training, we were socializing, et cetera, et cetera. And then I was the default host for all of those meetings. And you guys will recall that a personal crisis occurred to me in April of this year, and I simply did not have the bandwidth any longer. So Winternet dropped off the board. And if we were to renew that in the beginning in February of next year, after the reunion cycle has passed, I really believe that Winternet can help us accelerate the growth and incorporation of these scattered members, not just from all over, not just from remote parts of the country, but from some small cities that are too small to justify a directing chapter or voting chapter, simply because they're not going to have 5 Santas in the neighborhood that they can, pull together. So I still believe, I firmly believe that Winternet's going to be the future of the fraternity. I do happen to know, because I've been watching closely, iBurbs has yet to steal the idea from us. So we have a limited window, and I'm really going to try to reactivate that next February. And also we're going to try to get the newsletter back off the ground next year, because we've got, I'm going to try to see if we can do something next month. Tim has offered to submit his article. We've got some vendors who are eager to advertise in the reunion yearbook. So those would be reliable ads for the Just Be clause for the newsletter. We may be able to get a fall newsletter issue out next month. I have pretty much gotten all the plates spinning on the reunion. We may have enough time to do that ourselves. So between those two things, between Winternet and our newsletter, we may be able to accelerate the growth process for our members and associates nationwide. And I still think that it would be a good thing for the fraternity to have our officers in place for 2 years so that they can train and support one another. And if they decide at the end of those 2 years to hand the gavel off, they'll have plenty of time to train their replacement.
Okay.
So with the 4 members present, and I have proxies for 2 of them ourselves, so we do have a quorum. Is there any objection to the recommendation that we propose those two bylaws revisions to the membership at large? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Done. So Tim, when we begin to organize the the election cycle beginning next month by October 15th, we
Right.
will begin to organize the elections for next year. These will be the bylaw provisions, recommendations that we make to the board, to the membership.
To the membership. Yep.
Thank you very much. Okay, Char Martin was supposed to join us today. I wanted you guys to know that she has already nailed down a cruise reunion for us. She has even booked a block of 50 not suites, but rooms.
Yeah, stay rooms, I think it said.
And of course, we're not locked into it. We haven't paid any deposits yet, but she's a professional travel agent, and she knows how to go about this stuff. So I think you guys were all CC'd. I don't know if you were all CC'd, and if you weren't, I apologize. But the specific cruise that I located in just my first cursory search of Carnival's website seemed ideal to me. There would be an excursion day, a day at sea when we could do our workshops and everything, then an excursion day, and then another day at sea when we could do our reunion itself. And then on the 5th day, we would return to the port of exit. So if all works out, our 2023 cruise reunion is really starting to shape up. And as Char Martin provides me with more details and information, I will, of course, keep you guys all in the loop on that. And I'm also going to encourage her, in case you misunderstood me. I thought I made it very clear. It was on all caps and bold letters that I wanted to defer to her expertise for options. She asked us, where do you want to go? And I don't know what the options are. And 5 years ago, the only option we had for that time frame was the Mexican Riviera. But my understanding is that with the rebirth of the cruise industry on the East Coast, most of those cruise lines transitioned to the West Coast during the Christmas season. So there should be more cruise options for us, more companies, more cruise liners, and more destination options for us. So we'll see if Char can come up with some more suggestions. And if not, we already have a really nice option that we can fall back on. Okay, moving on. I would like to propose a broadcast to the membership. Now, there will be a broadcast after this meeting, sometime in the next week or so. I will prepare a broadcast to the membership at large, all associates and members. In fact, my entire mailing list, reminding them that registrations for membership are well underway, that registrations for the reunion are open and well underway. And reminding them that they will be hearing from the elections committee soon, and asking them to seriously consider stepping up and volunteering their services to the reunion in the upcoming election cycle. I would like to add to that broadcast a specific statement regarding the status and standing of associate members. Our bylaws, and I should preface it by saying that 3 associate members have reported to me, either directly or through one another, that they have been either specifically or personally disrespected because they are independent Mrs. Clauses and not directly affiliated with a Santa. Our bylaw, in fact, one of them was told at the picnic that you don't belong here. You shouldn't be here because you're not one of us. And they are wrong. The person who said that was absolutely wrong. And I would like to remind all of our members scattered across the country and our associates that our bylaws recognize 3 types of associate member. Any spouse or significant other of a member in good standing, whether they perform or not, is automatically an associate member if they are registered as such by a member in good standing. Number two, any performer appearing with a member in good standing, whether they are Mrs. Claus or an elf or a reindeer or any other character, if they appear with a member in good standing and that member wants to claim them on the registration form as an associate member, our bylaws recognize that position. That's the second classification of associate members. The third recognized in bylaws is any surviving spouse of a member in good standing who maintains their dues once the member in good standing passes away. Those are the three classifications of associate member in our bylaws, and I need to remind all associates, apparently I need to remind all of our associates that this is in fact the case. And we have to respect the Mrs. Clauses and the elves and the reindeer or whatever performers who are affiliated with the fraternal order. We have to give them their due respect. They're not allowed to vote anyway. They're not obliged to pay dues if the bylaws recommendation passes. Even surviving spouses won't be required to pay dues any longer. So it's too easy to disregard them and to dismiss them. And we need to be careful that we attend the relationship to those associate members with a little more care and a little more professionalism. So I will open that particular clause of the upcoming broadcast to discussion. Is there anything anybody would like to add? Okay.
No, I think you've got it covered.
Okay, so that will be added to our to the upcoming broadcast. A specific declaration regarding the status and standing of associate members in the fraternal order. The next item is the fact that our long-term secretary, Victoria Irwin, resigned with a couple of hours to go before tonight's meeting. I asked her once again if she'd had the opportunity to prepare the minutes for tonight's meeting, and her response was, no, I haven't gotten around to it, and by the way, I resigned. So we thanked her for her service. She's been a pillar of the fraternity for a number of years. Her personal circumstances with her elderly mother out in Hemet have significantly changed her life, and as a result has significantly changed my life as well. So we wish her the best, and that leaves an opening in our of one of our 5 elected fiduciary offices. And I would like to announce that Orange County Director Tim Marsh has volunteered to take her place in that position. Since we have a provision in our bylaws for an interim fiduciary officer, it requires only approval by the board of directors. So without further ado, I move that Santa Tim Marsh be named Forbes secretary until further elections take place. Is there any comment?
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, and I hear no commentary. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And if there's anyone
I'm not sure I
opposed,
should even vote on it, so I'll abstain.
you've recused, but we still have 5 votes in your favor, so it passes. Congratulations, Mr. Secretary. Okay.
I'm not sure whether I'm going to say thank you or not, but thank you.
The sound you hear, that toot toot that you hear, is the train headed down the track directly at you. Okay, so that, of course, at the chapter level leaves, on the board level, leaves an opening with the Orange County chapter director. And having spoken with the president and vice president of the chapter, and with a proposed replacement for the chapter director, I have proposed that Santa Craig Ball, who is our reunion vendor chair for the 2022 reunion, has volunteered to replace Tim Marsh as Orange County director. The officers of the chapter have approved that recommendation. Since it's a chapter decision, the board need not move or vote to accept his position. So this is basically informative in nature. Effective immediately, the Orange County director will be Santa Craig Ball. And we thank him for his service. And that's it. That's all I have for new business. And that brings us to the end of the agenda. But before I do, I will open the floor for general discussion. At this point, Dan, Pete, you guys can talk all you want.
Hey, Rick, I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Is San Diego on the hook for 2024 reunion?
You are now. Thank you for volunteering.
No, I offered it up. I offered it up when I was early on the board, but
Yes, sir. It would be very appreciated if you were to, we wanted to have a 4-year cycle if possible before you guys
That's
were back
us.
on the hook.
that's us.
So 2024 would be about right for you guys. And maybe by the time it rolls around, if we take 25 again, maybe by 26, we can always consider another cruise reunion if we have to. But somewhere in that time frame, fingers crossed, good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise, the Inland Empire chapter will get its feet underneath it and resume sufficient volunteer and activity and energy to host another reunion. They haven't hosted a reunion since 2018. So here's hoping that they will get their act together. Reggie Basnar has basically assumed responsibility. Tom Giddings was the president, and because of his work schedule, he had to resign. So he was as the president, he was also de facto director for the chapter. He has handed the gavel over to his vice president, Reggie Basnar. Reggie had not attended the first 2 meetings of this year after the 15-month hiatus that all of the chapters suffered through. But there were enough members and associates in the chapter who were active, and they started organizing the meetings again. And the 3rd in-person meeting that they organized, Santa Reggie resumed responsibility, and he has attended the last 2. So there are some great volunteers out there. Noel Claus, Kathy Perone, Tony Evangelista. He has a good staff behind him. And if they affect some organic growth for the chapter through recruiting and things like that, and maybe getting some returning members to become active in their participation again. Jack Davidson and Maxine Davidson were previously very active in reunion planning. So there's people out there. They can get their feet back under them, hopefully in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, and they can join the cycle so that we can extend it out to maybe a 5-year cycle before.
Don't we have a chapter in Las Vegas?
We do. We have attempted on 2 occasions to organize a reunion in Las Vegas, and it is exorbitantly expensive, like 3 times as expensive. It would be 3 times as expensive for each guest to attend a reunion in Las Vegas as it would
Because of the weekend.
I guess.
No, because it's Vegas.
Well,
Yeah,
Vegas,
Vegas.
hey, Bob, I've gone to conventions in Vegas, and as long as you go in Sunday and leave on Thursday, you're not going to get hit with all that expense.
Hey, if that's a possibility, then we will make it happen, because when cruise reunion takes place, we're not locked into the weekend cycle either. So I do know that I can't remember the girl's name, Carol something or other, but we have a professional booker who has been working for 5 years now trying to organize a reunion for us. She's the one that arranged for our inspection tour to San Jose a couple of years ago, when we were hopefully going to take the reunion up to the Monterey Bay area. She's very eager. She put together 15 hotels in the Las Vegas area, and the gestalt of all of the database the spreadsheet that she sent out to us, there was not one of them that it was anywhere in the ballpark for our reunion pricing. But
Hmm.
it did not occur to me what you just noted. It didn't even occur to me that we may be pricing ourselves out because of the Friday and Saturday
Yeah.
inclusion of Friday and Saturday. So Shannon, that's her name. I will make a note to reach out to Shannon again and ask her if there would be an advantage to us moving even a weekday, even Monday to Friday, and Monday to
Oh,
Thursday, or something
That
like that.
and a group of our size. I'm sure there's one hotel out there that will bite the bullet, but COVID has affected everybody nationwide. I don't think Vegas is just rolling in money either.
No.
Which is a double-edged sword, which we discovered with Knott's this year. We were thinking that because Knott's was coming off of the darkest year ever, they may be so eager for our business that they would bend over backwards, when in fact the opposite turned
Yeah.
out to be true. They
That's
wouldn't
not-
give us a packet of sugar for free because they had to get every dollar they possibly could out of every day of every event that,
Yeah.
at Cedar Fair was leaning on them so hard that they were reluctant to give us anything.
Yeah.
Walking rights in the hallway was negotiated. So it was a challenge. Okay. Is there anything else anybody would like to bring to the attention of the board? Pete, you got anything to say, my brother?
No, I've had, enjoyed the meeting. I did talk to Char yesterday. I
Okay,
want to put together a cruise to North Pole, Alaska in June.
in June of what year?
Yeah.
Not 2023.
Next year.
It would be too much competition with our reunion cruise. Please don't even consider that.
It's a summertime event. Not everybody's going to go.
Well, there will be a certain number of the Venn diagram of those who could participate in your cruise and those who could participate in our cruise would be mutually exclusive to too many potential guests. So we need to avoid any cruise planning in 2023 except for our reunion cruise. So please bear that in mind when you're talking to Shar. Shar will facilitate any suggestion you make and make 3 more for it. But just make sure you understand that we can't have any competition for any cruise in 2023. Thank you. Dan, how about yourself, man? Anything to say?
No,
Well, say
I'm
it
good.
anyway.
say it anyway. No, nothing to say.
Where did you say you're from?
I'm from
No, where you at,
Southeast
I should say.
Michigan.
I meant to say, where are you, not where are you from?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I live in Southeast Michigan and I am from Southeast Michigan. So,
What part of Southeast Michigan, Dan?
Grand Blanc.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Detroit, so we're talking the
okay.
same neighborhood. Yeah.
I can name
Yeah.
2 cities in Michigan, but I'm not going to embarrass myself because I don't know what part they're in. Flint and Detroit are the only 2 cities I can
Oh,
name.
Grand Blank's just outside of Flint.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm southeast of Flint and almost directly north of Detroit.
And I'll be honest with you, all of my knowledge about Flint is negative. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
drink the water.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we had a different, ours is different water system. So,
Thank God. Yeah.
yeah. And we didn't move here until after that happened. So, yeah, we moved here from Virginia. We were living in Virginia for 5 years
Oh, really?
outside of DC.
For work or what?
Yeah,
Fleeing
for work.
warrants?
Excuse me.
Were you fleeing warrants or were you working for? I'm just
I was
kidding.
working.
Wouldn't this-
I worked in DC.
all right there.
DOD.
No, that was for a real small MEP firm, mechanical electrical plumbing firm.
Mhm.
We did a lot of work for Amazon and Verizon.
Well, Bob, Bob, do you have anything you would like to say, Mr. President?
No, good meeting, Rick, and we appreciate all that you do to put this all together, and
Yeah.
don't know what we'd do without you. We sure love you, my brother.
I'm not going to close the Zoom room, but I would like to close the minutes. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. I will close the minutes at 8 o'clock, 51 minutes total meeting time. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, sir.
And I will stop screen sharing so you guys can see the snowfall behind me. By the way, could you see me and my screen share, or is it an either or situation?
Oh, both.
Oh, you could
You see both.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
snow's not accumulating, but I can see it.
Yeah, it
I like your new
depends on how
background.
you, depends how you arrange the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it down to just one person, or actually
Oh.
down just to none, or you can have like a bar across the top
Oh, that's right. So
of your
gallery view.
sharing screen.
I see speaker, gallery, and immersive. What the heck is that? Anybody? Anyone?
Don't know.
Bueller? Let's click it and find out. Choose immersive view. Gather everyone in the same view. Participants using older versions may see others with a dark background. Place participants into view automatically. Let's see what happens when I click start.
Okay.
Hey, I kind of like that.
Hey,
No.
you're the one that sees it.
I don't
Pictures
see-
on a
That's kinda
wall.
neat.
Okay.
Bob, are you-
I wonder if you could get different options as to how you might want it to look.
Oh, good point. Let's go back to immersive, change immersive view. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, there are. So we can go with this. It's loading. There we go. Start. That's not.
Oh, there we
Oh,
are.
we're sitting in a
Background's
boardroom. I
Yep.
like
Yeah.
that. We're all sitting around the board table. I like that. Let's see what else we have.
I like the fact that the thing on the wall is deliver happiness. Now that
Oh,
at
that's
least
not-
is the
yeah.
right meeting, you know?
I ordered
Yeah.
that just for us. Let's see here what the fireside chat looks like. Start. Oh, it's just me and Tim, and everybody else is over the mantle. And I see Bob is
Yeah.
still here. Okay.
Yep.
Bob wasn't in the other immersive view, the ones with the frames.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
see here.
Yeah.
You're frozen. To me, you're not moving
Yeah, you're frozen.
Let's go to
Yeah,
the.
but
in time.
I can't see me at all.
Your camera's not on, Bob.
Yeah, you haven't been on for the whole meeting, Bob.
Yeah.
But I figured it was because you didn't.
There he
There
is.
you go. Not a
There you
moment
are.
too soon
Why
either.
didn't somebody tell me?
Let's see what
Oh.
it does with the frames this time. Let me see. Oh, it only has 5 anyway, and there's 6 of us. So
Yep.
let's try this one. Let's
Oh.
go to the beach. Let's see here. Let's go to the beach.
And
Oh, that's not it.
That's
it's back
Yeah.
to the first one.
Forgot to change it. Okay, hang on a second.
well, Bob's up the top now.
This
Yep.
one looks like the beach. No, it's just a stairwell. Okay. Oh, those I thought that was a palm tree in the little picture.
Oh,
Okay. Hey, Tim, what's in the decanter, my brother?
Oh,
Eggnog?
you don't want to know. I'm not sharing anyway.
Let's see here. This is theater view. Let's see. We're all sitting in a theater now.
yeah.
It's interesting that it shows your whole backdrop on
Yeah.
whoever has well, I don't know, because some of you have a full backdrop up, but Pete doesn't, and it's not showing Pete the same way it's showing
Yeah.
the rest of us. That's interesting.
I wonder if it's a
Yeah.
setting at the local level that they have to do that. And let me see here. There's a couple more here.
Yeah.
What is this? Immersive view, my video. Let's see here.
Your
Oh,
background's back.
I don't like that one.
Oh.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
And what is this one?
I might have to update my Zoom.
I like that. I like that.
Okay.
It looks like the meeting room in the nursery or something. But my favorite is still this one right here.
Yeah.
I like that. That's like
Yep.
Harry Potter right there. The paintings on the wall.
Wall moving,
talking.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The scary one with the clown over there. That's the one all the kids would avoid in the hallway.
I hope not.
Yeah.
That's one of my stickers.
Is that you?
Yes,
That's another one of your characters.
right.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I put them both. I put them both up. That one, the one behind me right now, is pockets. And
So called because of the costume, has a lot of pockets in it.
yeah, there's a lot of pockets in it.
Okay.
And the other one is right there. That's Whistle Stop.
Yeah, you disappeared.
You've taken my picture out. You turned me off again.
I didn't. You did. There we go.
Come
Yep.
on.
Came and went.
There we go. There we go. That's Whistle Stop.
Okay, guys, it's been fun.
Bob, it's
Appreciate
good to
seeing
see you.
all.
Good to see you, Bob.
Yeah.
See you later.
It's been
Bob.
real. It's been fun. I wish I could say it's been real fun.
I wish somebody told me I hadn't turned on my camera.
Bye, Bob. Love you, my brother.
Love
Yeah,
you.
it's time to go to bed here.
All right, guys.
That's right.
Have a good one.
Uh,
Hey, hey,
Take care.
Rick, if you can
Please.
stick
See you
around,
later.
I'd like
Bye.
to talk to you for a minute.
Yes, sir. No problem. Everybody else, shoo, shoo, shoo.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
All right, I just want to talk a little bit on the reunion,
Yes, sir.
just to make sure I have this correct.
Yes, sir.
So we have 9 spaces for trainings,
9
And-
time slots, right? 3
right? And
time
then
slots.
after that is when it's the senior Santa speak.
That'll be about 3 or 4 o'clock. Yes.
Okay, all right. So we have like two training sessions, lunch, a training session, and then the senior Santas speak.
You have that correct.
Okay, great. So,
One of we have 2 breakout rooms, the Sandusky suite, not the Sandusky. Anyway, there are 2 breakout suites on the, if you've been to Knott's Berry Farm, so you know, outside the hallway, there are 3 breakout rooms and then a board room for board
Right.
meetings and stuff. We will have all 3 of those breakout rooms, but the center breakout room will be the photo studio for Cherry Hill. So we will have 2 breakout rooms, and then the main Knott's ballroom area will be
Okay.
used as a workshop area as well. That room will have a 10 by 10 projection screen and a very bright projector with an
okay,
internet connection, et cetera, et cetera. So
so that's where Ed will be for his.
Ed will be there, yes.
Yep.
And, maybe whoever needs the projector most. I also have a second projector, a less, the one that we're using in the main room is 3,500 lumens.
Uh-huh,
I also have a not as bright projector, which only produces about 1,400 lumens, which is
Okay.
good for a smaller room on a smaller screen. So if
Right.
either of the other 2 breakout rooms needs a projector and screen, we already have the capacity.
okay, great. When we get closer, I'll need to talk to you about the tech requirements for doing Ed's. And the part I'm not sure about actually is whether we're gonna need a wireless handheld mic. And I don't know how to tie that into Zoom so that people could ask questions of Ed from the audience, or whether we're gonna have to have them walk up closer to where the computer is actually sitting and speak to that mic.
We will have to have at least one wireless, or at least one live microphone on the stage.
Right.
Presumably it could be wired because we can hand it, the senior Santas can hand it back and forth.
Right,
We will also need a microphone for the master of ceremonies for that event, for that
Right.
symposium. And if at all possible, we would like to have a cordless mic, which can be shuttled out to anybody in the audience so they can present their questions directly to the
Right.
Or we could simply have the questions pre-submitted. We could have cards available upon entry to the room. Anybody with a question could write it out and have it, just give it to the MC, and the MC could present the questions to the panel himself if we want to.
Right, and that'll work for the senior Santas, but if we have 3 trainings going on, my experience is most of those rooms are small enough, you're going to be able to talk and hear it. You won't need a microphone. I'm just really concerned about the one that Ed's in, to make sure that he's going to be able to hear them and that we're going to be able to broadcast his voice in the room. But
we want to have a more robust electronics presence in that room anyway.
right,
We will want to have access to the hotel's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And if at all possible, not just the guest Wi-Fi, but
Right.
some kind of pro Wi-Fi. I know that they have 2 or 3 levels of Wi-Fi access there. We may
Okay.
be able to pay a premium and get a faster Wi-Fi connection so that Ed and anybody else, any of the others that want to access internet-based materials will be able to do so without lag time. We'll have the bandwidth.
Right. Okay, that'd be great. So,
And a cordless microphone, of course, also for that room, at least one, maybe 2. If we will own one by that point in time. Forbes will have, I kicked myself now. I could punch myself in the face again right now, but I sold my entire sound system during the divorce just to empty the storage unit that we were paying for out in Hemet. And
Right.
because I wouldn't have any place to store it when I moved back to Orange County, I let my entire $15,000 sound system and all the discs and everything that I had going with it, I sold it. I started at $1,500, went down to $1,200, went down to $900, and in desperation, with 24 hours left to go, I sold the entire thing for $300,
ouch.
including amplifiers, wireless mic systems, mixing boards.
Right.
The discs themselves were worth about $8,000 or $9,000. And anyway, it was just a troubling time in my life, and I was just cutting anchors.
Yes, I understand completely. So I think I'm to the point with Joe Mystic doing magic, Glenn Bailey, if he's doing the ukulele. I probably have Bob Osterhaus, and I'll reach out to, I think it's Victoria, the barber, and see if I can get them paired up. Bob lost his daughter a couple of weeks ago, and so he's wrestling with that.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
But hopefully he'll step up.
Those 2 can be in one of the smaller breakout rooms.
Right.
Laley Bailey, if we have a time slot available in the main ballroom, his workshop should spread out a little more. So maybe him there in the main ballroom.
Right.
Obviously, Ed has to be in the main ballroom.
Yep.
That leaves 1 time slot remaining for access to the main ballroom. And Tim Conahan is going to be on site, so we can give him one of the smaller rooms as well.
That was actually one of my questions was, do we know what Tim might train on? Because my understanding was he was going to train a session and do the other piece.
He's got 3 obligations. He's
Okay.
got to do it. He's agreed, I should say that, put it this way. He's committed to do a 45-minute workshop presentation. He's agreed to participate as a panelist in the Senior Santa Speaks, and he's agreed to be a 15 to 20-minute presentation during the luncheon on Sunday. Those are his only 3 obligations in exchange for everything we're offering.
Okay. So one of the other things that I was thinking about, because most of our trainings are everything people want to be trained about, but I'm thinking about one that is something that I think people need to be trained about again. And that is, and I'm going to reach out to Karcher Insurance. I'm also going to reach out probably to Orange County Sheriffs, because they've got a PR person. And I want to talk to them about the what do we need to do as clauses besides the wear white gloves and make sure your pictures are in every photo, your hands are in every picture? What do we need to be aware of to avoid any issues and accusations of molestation or anything like that? And then what do we need to do to report? What should we do? Are we legally obligated? If we have a child who says, you know, my uncle's touching me, my father's beating me, whatever, what are our obligations and what is a process by which we go through to report that? You know,
Most excellent.
does the state just have a 1-800, you know, talk to me? Or how do we do that? And are we legally obligated to? Because
What
there
are
are
our
probably some
obligations
people
to
who will be
report?
freaked out about it. And there will be others. I mean, I come from a background where I had to be a designated reporter. So I think I don't know how many people will want to go into the room, but I think we need to at least offer it. So
We will be
I'm working on
recording it
that.
too. So even regardless of the attendance in that workshop
Right.
workshop material will then become part of an archival library so that anyone can reference it at any point in the future.
Well, that is another question is, are we trying to record these? And do we have the ability to do that?
I have 3 of these is really all we're going to need because each one of them has a mount for a camera.
Right.
I have 2 camera phones.
Phones.
I have both an Android and my iPhone.
Right.
Yeah, recording them won't be any problem, especially if, as you may recall during the meetings, I put the microphone, the amplifier for our cordless mic right behind the camera so that the audio, in fact, I don't know if you've had a chance to
I
listen
haven't looked at it yet.
itself. Yeah,
Yeah.
the audio is very clear because the microphone, the amplifier, the speaker is directly behind the camera. So
Right.
as long as the person speaking into the microphone, it's very clear. So that we may not have anybody manning the camera to zoom in or out or something like that. And maybe
Right.
for the main room, because it's much larger, I would probably prefer to have a pedestal mounted camera with somebody operating it. So
Right.
rather than just having mobile phone recording on that room, at least,
Right.
we will have a more legitimate high resolution camera operating in that room on a tripod and have somebody manning it.
Okay. All right. So really what I'm down to now, I mean, I've got to reach out to people and talk to them, but since Santa True committed to teaching, I'm down to 2 opens spaces at this point, and we'll see what comes up for Mrs. Claus.
There you
Because
go.
I'm still at the point of I really don't know what to try and offer there. There's part of me that's really tempted to talk to Santa True about his training, because I was at his workshop over the weekend, and he pushes very much for Mrs. Claus and everyone else. And so I'm kind of wondering if we could have him, you know, really work on the Mrs. Claus side of it as well, whether that, you know, kind of counts as the Mrs. Claus one or not, depending on who steps up. What I told when Santa True and I talked and he committed to it, I said, I will probably not reach out to you until after the season, unless I need to get a hold of you because we need whatever's going to be put in the ad. You know, and his wife's probably going to deal with that anyway, Kat.
Right.
So
We actually don't need the yearbook ad until after the reunion anyway.
right, because you're
If
dealing
we
with all the
publish a
photos.
Newsletter, we may need copy for that.
Right. So that's what I'm down to. I don't have any brilliant ideas for that potential last slot. Because let's see.
Would you agree that we would prefer to have a Mrs. Claus officiating the Mrs. Claus workshop?
Yes, we absolutely would. And I would make sure it wasn't at the same time as the Santa True one, because I think what he does works for everybody. Santa Ed is going to talk about virtual Santaing, which is predominantly going to be, I think Santas are interested, but there will also be Mrs. Clauses who are who are interested. So we'll have to play that game once we really have confirmation on everybody of what we think is going to draw the most, so it's in the biggest room, and then and what are their tech needs, and then what do we think we need to do based on competition with each other.
We're well ahead of the curve, my friend. You're on third base already.
Yeah.
We're still 90 days out. That's
Yeah. So like I say, I just wanted to talk to you about the protecting ourselves from molestation and how do we report things to make sure that I wasn't stepping on anybody's toes or anything.
That is an excellent idea. I'm not sure what you were thinking about the insurance, but I'd also like to just point out very quickly that Rick Rosenthal's buddy, I can't remember what his name is, also offers Santa insurance, but it doesn't overlap or compete with ours because he offers not liability insurance, but what do you call it? Protection for the suit, things like that.
For all the equipment and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, whatever that is. He offers insurance that covers all of the Santa's material investment.
Right.
And things like that. So if it sounds like something you'd like to talk to him about, I'll be more than happy to forward his contact information to you. And
well, I'll start with Karcher just because what I want to talk to them about is, okay, what do you want us to know so people aren't filing claims? And do you have someone who either can do, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, remotely, or do you have someone who actually would be willing to come out here and talk to us because you, to some extent, have a captive audience? Of people who are buying your product, is it worth it to you to do that? So I was going to have that conversation with them, and then, like I say, I'll talk to, I'll be calling Orange County Sheriff's Department to find out who their public relations person is and say, okay, here's who I'm a representative of. Here's the group of people that we're interested in finding out what do we really need to do from, PD's perspective on these issues. And I know there will be Santas who will say, I don't want to report a customer because they won't be my customer anymore. And it's like, that might happen. But, as a parent, I actually would be really happy to find out that somebody reported this thinking there might have been an issue based on something that was said. And it went through due process and it turned out there wasn't anything there. Versus somebody where, no, something was happening and a Santa I've known for years didn't report it, didn't want to do anything about it.
I think the preponderance of likelihood in that situation would be in the high volume sets, like the mall situations, things like that, where where the guy sees, 5,000 clients in a year in the seat. If there is a child who wants to report or just casually mention something like that,
it feels safe because it's Santa. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
That's a great idea, Tim. That's a brilliant suggestion. So I'm wholeheartedly endorsing that.
Okay. All right. I will start working on that one. And then, like I say, Mrs. Claus, and then basically it's one more spot, and I'm, not sure where I am on that one yet, but I'll keep talking to people.
Keep it in your pocket, man, because you're going to get some ideas. You're going to get some requests for it. Tomorrow, Craig Ball and I are going over to recruit Capri boots, Capri shoes. See if we can anchor them, get them to anchor. We'll comp them. We've done it twice before. If we could just get them to load up a truckload of their samples and set them out on the table for us, that's all we really ask them for. The Navarro family has been generous to us in the past, and then there have been other years when they basically thumbed their nose at us. So it's all internal. The family is there's a feud going on in the family. The dad and a daughter against a brother and a nephew. And I don't know if they've resolved it or not, but I do know they had to move recently. So they've lost their work, their 20-year workshop showroom on Fullerton
Right. They're over by the airport now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're out near the airport now. So anyway, we're gonna go see them tomorrow and
Okay.
see what's what with them.
Well, I wish you all the luck in the world on that. Who do I need to talk to, or what do I need to do to memorialize Santa True's piece for being in the paper and being in the yearbook? Is our conversation enough? Do I need to do more than that? I just don't want it to fall through the cracks.
All we need is, you've got the dimensions. If you don't have the dimensions, just go to the
I'll look on the website.
vendor. Yeah, just go to
Yep.
the reunion website, ForbesSanchezReunion.com.
Yep.
Click the vendors tab. It'll give you the dimensions of the various options. We will give him a half-page ad for free, or give him half price on a full-page ad if he wants.
Right.
Whichever works out to be the best deal for him,
Right. My bet is he'll want the half page for free is from
Okay.
our discussion. So yeah.
Okay, and
All
that's
right.
fine with me. And
All right. How big are the ads in the
both of them are unlimited. We can expand, it's fully expandable.
right. No. I mean in the newsletter.
That's what I meant. Both of them,
Right.
there's no fixed.
Oh yeah, that's true, because it's wholly
We're not
electronic.
printing, so
Yeah,
it's
right.
it's online only, so we can,
Okay.
it's fully expandable.
Yep, absolutely. Okay,
All right, dude.
perfect. Thank you
Anything
very
else
much.
comes up, give me a holler.
Okie doke.
Thanks
I'll
for
talk to you
everything,
later.
man. Bye, brother.
Absolutely.